We are back into another work week. It looks like a nice morning. Partly cloudy skies today, a high of 74. Some more nice weather. Cloudy on Tuesday. We do have a 20% chance of rain, a high of 70. And Wednesday, kind of the same thing, partly cloudy, 20% chance of showers, and a high near 70. So all in all, not bad. And again, just a small chance of rain. You may get a little where you're at in the next couple of days, but don't know that we're going to see like a soaking rain, which is okay.
Yeah,
Be nice to have some nice weather for a
I
while.
feel like we got a lot of rain here recently, and we're doing fine.
Yeah, we're doing just fine. Hey, give my good friend Daniel at Noble Contractors a call today if you need some gutter repair, maybe new gutters. That's what he does, just gutters. He's my gutter guy, and he can be your gutter guy. Daniel's at 205-422-3034. Store that number in your phone. If nothing else, put it there because the day that half that gutter is dangling off your house, you're like, God, what was the name of that guy that Valerie was talking about that does nothing but gutters? Daniel at Noble Contractors, 422-3034. Put it in your phone. Noble now offers financing as low as 0% for 21 months. He can do the job for much less than some of these big national companies, and proof is in his free estimate. So call Noble Contractors. Tell Daniel, could you please give me a free estimate? He'll tell you he's happy to do it. And if you need gutters, a whole new gutter system for your house, that's great. No problem. He's also got the gutter covers to keep the leaves and debris out of those gutters. Also tell Daniel that I sent you. He will give you a 10% discount on those new gutters. So anytime you need repair, you need new gutters, this should be your guy. He's right here in Birmingham. Noble Contractors. Again, the phone number is 205-422-3034.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, 2 pilots were killed last night after an Air Canada Express regional jet struck a fire vehicle on the ground after landing at New York's LaGuardia Airport. The plane was arriving from Montreal and hit the vehicle while traveling at about 24 miles an hour. This was just before midnight. The plane was sheared off from the front door all the way to the nose of the plane. 40 passengers and crew members were sent to the hospital. 32 of those people have now been released. It's believed that 72 people were aboard that plane, as well as 4 crew members. Ground stop for all planes at LaGuardia is in effect until 2 o'clock today. And hearing some amazing stories that there was actually one of the flight attendants, was in her seat. Of course, they were getting ready to land, and she was buckled in. That crash forced her to eject through the nose of the plane and out of the plane while she's strapped into her seat and out onto the ground. She survived. This woman survived, or male.
Well, she wasn't she wasn't in the nose of the plane where the pilots were.
But she's right behind them where their seats are and they're strapped in. So when that whole nose got clipped off, she luckily was ejected and again made it onto the ground and was in her seat when they found her. Yeah, on the ground, outside of the plane.
I know how that works. I've seen that a number of times. Not the falling part, but where the little jump seat that the flight attendant sits in right there. Yeah.
So that was just unbelievable. But some of the stories that people are telling that were on that flight is just amazing. And again, the truck asked for permission to cross and was given permission. Don't know why things got crossways and how this happened, but the NTSB is there. And again, it will be after 2 o'clock today before they reopen that entire airport. So big problems there. The body of a missing University of Alabama student found in water near a bar he was at on spring break in Barcelona, Spain. Jimmy Gracie was his name. The family is now saying that they're going to await an autopsy and toxicology report to try to get a clear picture about maybe what happened that night after he left the bar. Investigators have not ruled out the possibility that Jimmy Gracie may have been drugged before he went into the water, apparently fell in, and they're talking about the possibility that he drowned. There were rocks there. Did his body get banged up on those rocks? And that's what led to some of the, injuries that he had. But his phone was found first, and then his wallet found floating nearby. The wallet had still his ID, cash, and credit cards inside of it. So I don't know. I think they just want, they found his body. That part, that's a plus. We've seen these stories before. Aruba is a prime example where Natalie Holloway was never found. At least his family has that closure. But I think they also want to know exactly what happened. And it might just be alcohol, that he drank too much and he got over near the rocks and he fell in and he drowned, or there could be something else. So we will wait and see once they get those results.
This is why they are doing the tests.
Yep. And Trump has extended now the deadline by 5 days. The Iranian regime apparently was charging tankers $2 million to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. And over the weekend, President Trump said he would give Iran 48 hours to reopen the strait or there would be attacks on their power plants. Well, this morning we've learned he's kind of paused that because now there is some negotiating and talks between the U.S. and Iran. Now, who we're speaking with, don't really know, because who's really at the lead and who's the regime in Iran, that's kind of unclear. But apparently something's going on where the president is like, Department of War, let's just hang on just a second before we start bombing their power plants and eliminating their ability to have any power. So they're discussing it, and maybe they're going to figure out a way that the Strait of Hormuz is wide open and we don't have any problems.
Well, he says he wants to. This could end the whole thing. These conversations that he's having could actually just wrap it all up. I don't know exactly how or what they would have to agree to, whether or not you can trust that they're going to agree to it. You know, we'd always heard that we want them to give up because they have to, not because they're negotiating something, you know. It may be that we're at that point now where it's like, okay, we're kind of out of missiles and we're kind of out of drones, so I guess we'll just do whatever you guys want. But can we leave that regime in power? You know, obviously we started off and said we're not going to do a regime change. The people of Iran can do a regime change, but we're not going to do.
And it doesn't appear that they're doing that. We're not. Well, and behind, we're probably not getting all that information. What's really going on there is that in the works? Or who are we talking about? The old regime, or is there somebody new that we're having these talks with that they're going to take over? And that's the part we don't know.
It's very difficult to.
One other thing, and because it's a pretty big story that's going on too, with this whole talk about ICE agents assisting TSA. Apparently, they are going to Atlanta today. Atlanta's a mess. They said sometimes 3, 4, up to 5 hours trying to get through TSA to get on your flight. That's a nightmare. Where are you headed to? Are you going to be able to make your flight? The left right now, Dems and several others, are losing their mind. They're like, he's sending ICE in there. He shouldn't do it. ICE is not performing the same duties that the TSA agents are doing. What they're doing is they're going in there and saying, look, they need some assistance with moving people around and getting them where they need to be. If there's a problem within the airport with any passengers, we'll handle that so that the few TSA agents that we have, can go over there and get these people checked through the line as quickly as they possibly can. ICE isn't doing that, and I think that that's part of why they're losing their mind. The ICE agents there, they desperately need help in some of these airports, and that's what they're there for. They're not there to check people at TSA.
Yeah. Well, you can expect that the libs are going to lose their mind over this, no matter how you slice it.
It's crazy.
You're talking about putting ICE in airports. They're like, oh, my God, how dare you? Like, yes, I know. Somehow immigration enforcement has become a bad word, which I don't understand. It wasn't a bad word when Obama was doing it. It wasn't a bad word when Biden was doing it. Biden didn't do much of it, but he did.
At least this administration is trying to do something to ease the traffic and flow in these airports so people can get through instead of standing in line for 4 hours or 5 hours or whatever crazy number it is at some of these bigger airports. They're trying to do something. And the left isn't helping it with any of this because, they want to eliminate ICE agents from any of this pay. TSA agents have been paid for 5 weeks.
Yep.
So some of those TSA agents are like, you know what, I'm calling in sick. I'm not doing this.
Some of them are like, I'm not doing this at all. I'm going to go find another job that actually pays me. They don't get paid very much, by the way. I was kind of shocked to find out what the average pay for a TSA agent is. I was like, you guys are doing this for that much money? That's, okay, you must love your job. 8:15 with Dixon and Vining, Denson and Fuller, my insurance agents. They really ought to be yours. They're local. They're independent. They're on Crescent Avenue in Homewood. They will work with any and all insurance companies to get you the absolute best premium, but they only work with the ones that really are good. They don't want to, work with some fly-by-night organization. They have a nice list of organizations that they use that you may not have heard of these guys. because they fly under the radar and they use places like Denson and Fuller as independent agents to purchase your insurance through, and then eventually, when there's a claim, they go to bat for you. I love that. DensonandFuller.com, 414-1476. Denson and Fuller, my insurance agents, they should be yours. La 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 la. Wally, la, 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 la. bumper music not playing.
Oh,
I'm trying to
hey,
step
when
in.
that
I
happens.
don't want Steve's reputation
I
to
know.
fall as the guy with the best bumper music in the business.
I know, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not his fault. It's electronics.
There you go.
Dun, dun.
Now you're talking.
Come on.
Ah, yeah, baby. Santana.
Santana. Is that what you're going to do all day? Just
I love them.
not pronounce things right, from cookies to music.
It's
artists.
trefoil. Okay, geez, all right, calm down.
She was not
Wow.
happy with you.
Holy cow.
I think everybody's in a mood today. It feels like
So
y'all
too.
are. Everybody's in a mood.
What's
Our
the mood?
texters are in
your
a
mood?
mood
Why are you
today.
in a mood?
Monday.
Stop
I don't know what it
and
is. It was like
It's Monday, and we're overloaded with pollen.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Is that
pollen
what it
out there.
is?
I don't know if I'm fighting the pollen or if I've now contracted another head cold. I hope it's pollen. I really
Well, I
do.
told you I sneezed in the break, and I was like, I was outside all weekend. My eyes were all watery this morning. I'm
Right.
like, it's pollen.
Well, I went out of town and I left my Navage at home. That was stupid of me. I got
Oh.
to take the Navage with me when I go.
You know what?
I love
You're
my
officially
Navage.
old.
I love my Navage. Oh, my gosh.
I forgot my Navage. I
Yep.
can't leave the house without my Navage.
Exactly, right? My Navage is the best. Do it on the road while you're driving. Just,
Right. What's that guy doing? Oh, he's using his
Navage
Navage.
while he drives.
Yee.
Does he live in his car? 822 with Dixon and Vining. And give me your thoughts on this. Chili's is calling out Ruth's Chris Steakhouse after the chain's dress code sparked backlash online.
Hmm.
Basically, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse said, you know what we'd really like? For you people to dress business casual. Stop showing up here in flip-flops and tank tops. Not okay. You know, we're kind of a nice place. I mean, we're not Flemings, but we're a nice place, and we'd like you to dress nicely when you come here. Would you do that for us, please? And immediately they get a bunch of blub. How dare you tell me how I can dress and what? I don't think it's unreasonable to say, you're going out to dinner. Try to dress like a decent human being, you know?
Well, for one person, dressing like a human being is different than another person. And for one person, it might be flip-flops and a pair of shorts
Mm-hmm.
and a T-shirt.
I don't
For
think-
others,
I-
it's like, no, I'm going to put on a pair of pants and some closed-toe shoes. I'm going to have a polo shirt on. I'm talking about you guys. You
I
know
don't
what I mean?
think any human being looks at cutoffs and flip-flops and goes, yeah, that's suitable for fine dining.
This is the problem. We've so slow rolled that. There were some restaurants that you would never wear that, and over time, people have just said, "Oh, they're not gonna say anything to me about it, so it's okay."
Right.
That's where the line is.
Chili says their only dress policy is that you have to be dressed.
Well,
Okay.
that's
Thank
kind of
you.
a low standard
So-
there, isn't it?
Well,
So that's flip flops and shorts and T-shirt. If
I would
you
think
wanted
so,
to do
yes.
it.
the question here is, where does one draw the line? You know, I mean, I mentioned Fleming's, obviously, very nice place. You know, Ruth's Chris is decent. I don't feel the need to wear a jacket when I'm going to Ruth's
No,
Chris.
no,
you know,
no. I
but
don't know.
you'd
I
wanna
think those
dress
days are kind of gone.
nicer for some other places,
Yeah.
but that's not one of them. But you know, what's one step below Ruth's Chris Steakhouse? Is there? I mean, Applebee's? No, that's like two steps below, isn't it?
It is.
It seems like there should be one
You go
that's
like the Lone Stars,
Maybe.
Texas Roadhouse.
Longhorn.
maybe. I was thinking maybe like a Gianmarco's,
Okay,
right? Something
All right.
like that, something local. I don't know.
I was just sticking with steakhouses.
Yeah, no, there's good, there's decent places that you do want to kind of dress up a little bit for. It's a special occasion. You're going out. You're probably celebrating something. Maybe just celebrating not having to cook. I don't know. But, you know,
Well, once again, if you talk about how people are dressing when they get on an airplane and how people are dressing when they go to Chili's, I think you could go to Chili's in your pajamas, like what you're seeing in an airport. People would do
guarantee-
it,
I guarantee
and they're like,
you
no,
could.
and they don't have any shame. They don't care. They're
Yeah.
like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going someplace fast food, someplace quick, a Taco Mama,
Yeah.
a Tzatziki's, or something like that, I think you can go in there in shorts and wear kind of what you want, right? But you're talking Fleming's or Ruth's Chris or, another steak place or fine dining, Bottega, I think on
Oh, yeah.
South Side,
Yeah.
A
Chez
Automatic Seafood or Chris.
Mhm.
Chris's that's out on 2-8. There's some, you get dressed a little bit. You don't have to get dressed up, but you certainly don't go, as if
Flip-flops
you're
and
coming off
cutoffs,
the
yeah.
beach and
Yeah.
going into some place to grab a burger,
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I've
I
always
think
been.
people don't care anymore.
I'm still a suit to church guy, you know? If I'm going to church, chances are good you're going to find me there wearing a suit. I just don't feel comfortable
Well,
going into church wearing any.
here's
I'm
the
like,
deal.
I'm dressing up for God.
Here's the deal with church. Now, the church I go to has two services. They have a modern and traditional worship service.
Mm-hmm.
And the modern worship service, 11 o'clock, they'll be like, well, you can come in jeans. Forever, I was not wearing jeans because I just could not do that.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I was like, 80% of everybody in the modern worship service has a pair of jeans on. And I'm like, well, okay. So, all right.
Long
But,
as
you know,
you're-
the traditional service, everybody still
Yeah.
gets dressed for church.
Sure.
So, it just kind of depends.
God only likes it when you dress up for the traditional service. He doesn't
I
care
don't
if you
think
dress
so.
up
I
for
think
the.
he just is glad you're there. Either
it.
way, he can get you.
Okay. I mean, you think he's
That's
out to
kinda-
get you? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
I'm
He's
just
out to get you.
saying if he
Sounds
can
like
get
he's-
you in church, that's a good thing.
I think he might be. He might
He's
be
happy about that.
snowing me. He's duping me to get me in there. I'm not comfortable with that.
So if you don't want to
I
wear
like concept.
if you don't want to get all dressed up, go to the modern service.
Yeah,
You
I
could
can't.
dress down.
I can't do the 7-Eleven hymns, the same 7 words repeated 11 times. I can't do it. I just if I show up at a place and they're projecting the hymns on the wall, the words on the wall for
Uh-huh.
us to read,
Yeah.
I'm generally going to be out of there. I'm
Well,
an
again,
old rugged cross kind of
Sometimes
guy.
you got to do what you need to do to bring the younger generation in because they're like
Yeah.
they're falling asleep in the
If
traditional.
it works for you, more power to you. That's all I can say. I certainly am not in.
Thank goodness that they came up with a modern service because
Yeah.
we'd have a whole generation that wouldn't give a rip about going
Well,
to
they
church.
say Gen Z is like leading the charge to get back to church.
Well, good.
And the problem here is that they show up, they wear cutoffs, flip flops, and they leave there. They go straight to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You see,
Or they
this
get
is
on a
what
plane.
the deal is. That they get on a plane and fly somewhere. This is what's happening. I think the churches are the ones we can blame for
Oh,
this.
it's church,
time to
is
start
it?
dressing nicely, even
Oh,
for your
my
modern
goodness.
service. Even when you show up to the contemporary service.
Mm-hmm.
My God is an awesome God. He lets me wear flip flops. Yeah.
I don't know that they want you in flip flops, but
Oh, they'll take you anywhere they can get you.
Yeah. Come barefoot. Jesus was barefoot.
Did you see Jesus Revolution?
Yes.
Yeah, good movie.
Oh, excellent.
Kelsey
Yeah.
Grammer,
Oh, excellent.
a couple of other folks that you might recognize in there. I remember that distinctly. I remember my brother and sister were both kind of caught up in the Jesus movement at the time, the Jesus Revolution, and it looks like we're undergoing that again as
Yeah.
Gen Z is about
Well,
to,
yeah.
they're beginning to understand the concept of a higher power, and they're also beginning to look and see that science just doesn't have an answer for everything, and
Indeed.
I think that's very important. I'm a big fan of questioning, which is why I find it disturbing whenever somebody says, "Oh, the science is settled on that." The very concept of science is that it's never settled. I mean, we can all agree that if you drop an apple, it's probably going to hit the ground, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that the theory of the relativity and gravity and so on and so forth, the theory of evolution. There's stuff that we can say, 100 times out of 100, you try this experiment, it's gonna turn out this way. But there are also things we have never quite figured out about evolution.
Well, and it's let me go back to what you just said about theory of relativity, theory of gravity. We continue to call them even today theories.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel fairly certain that there's never going to come a time when you let go of an apple and it goes up.
Probably not.
I think there's supposed to be like 7 seconds coming up someday in August. I read that online.
Oh, really?
They can't lie on the internet about stuff like that,
No.
Steve. They have to tell you the truth. But yeah,
Sure.
somehow
Yeah, go with that.
gravity's going to be shut off for like 7 seconds at some point in August, I think. We'll find out.
I hope it's on my birthday.
I'm going to grab onto something just to make sure. Hold the cake.
I think it could be fun.
8:30 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Molly Robinson comes in to talk NCAA basketball next. 8:35, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Mr. Bugs is ready to come slaughter the bugs in your home wholesale, and then keep the ones outside by laying down a barrier to make sure that they don't break through and find their way into your home. We're reaching that point in the weather where they're beginning to get a little bit more active, obviously. And when you get some rain like we're supposed to have tomorrow night, then they're going to be like, oh, let's get someplace dry. Let's go inside Richard's house. No, we actually have barriers at my house done by Mr. Bugs. They're perfect at what they do. They've been doing it for so long, better than 40-plus years now, 45, 46 years, I want to say they've been doing it. They're so very good at what they do. And they work all over the state. You can call them at 844-MRBUGGS. If you're up in the Madison area, know that you can hear us up there. Maybe you're at Smith Lake. Maybe you're all the way down just north of Montgomery where we come in, gangbusters. Give them a call at 844-MRBUGGS, Mr. Bugs, or visit them online at MrBugs.com. Find out what it's like to have a dependable pest control service that you can count on month in and month out to treat you right every step of the way. That's Mr. Bugs. They know what bugs you. Alabama moving to the Sweet 16. Auburn winning against Seattle and staying alive in the NIT, trying to prove themselves to be the 69th best team in the United States of America. Here to discuss it, Molly Robinson.
Happy Monday.
Hi, Molly. Happy Monday to you,
Hi,
too.
how are you?
I'm fantastic.
Good, I am too.
Glad to hear. Well, you're very excited about your Cornhuskers winning again.
Oh, my God.
The action shots were fantastic, by the way.
Thank
on
you.
X.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good.
That was real. That was raw reaction.
Excellent.
I had a feeling. I was like, I need to set up a camera because this is either going to end really good for me or really bad. And it would be like if Tyler Tanner would have made that last shot, that just would have been so Nebraska fashion to lose.
Right.
But I never want to watch that shot ever again. Watching that in real time, like, I'm not kidding you guys, my heart rate didn't actually settle until about 2 o'clock yesterday. And right after the buzzer went, the shot is missed. And you can tell the Nebraska players are like, what just happened? That was crazy. But we're going to our first Sweet 16. And, I mean, right when the clock hit 0, I had about 60 text messages coming at one time. All from my Husker fans, from non-Husker fans, from listeners, from friends, from coworkers, from everyone in the entire world. Just basically being like, oh my gosh.
And now let's talk about Alabama basketball.
Say,
Enough of that.
So the Cinderella story of High Point is over, unfortunately, as they got spanked by Arkansas. So.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, but like with Alabama, there's not much to talk about. It was BTA.
Hey, we made it to the Sweet 16.
You did.
What do you mean?
I mean, oh my gosh! But even with like Aiden Holloway being absent, I mean, they just dominated like from the get-go.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was never a game.
It was interesting, though. Last night I was watching just before I went to bed, and the game hadn't started yet, so they were in this transition period waiting for it to tip off, and they were doing predictions. Well, of course, you have to make a prediction, and one guy says, yeah, I'm taking Alabama off the board. Good call.
Ooh.
All righty then.
All right, so let me ask you this, Molly. They take on number 1 Michigan this Friday.
Oh yeah.
What's the chatter over on Jocks?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if Alabama plays the way that they play Texas Tech, they will beat Michigan. And we've already seen one number 1 seed go down in Florida yesterday against Iowa.
That was big.
Yeah.
That was a big loss for Florida.
But I will say, Michigan, they are a very good team. Obviously, they have former UAB standout Yaxel Linderborg. And most people, and me being one of them, I have Michigan winning one of my brackets in the bracket that I have in like our office pool, you know? But I mean, I think Alabama I think they can win this game.
Interesting.
If they play the way that they play Texas Tech, they very well will have a chance.
We'll see, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did 64 brackets. Was that
64
wrong?
brackets.
You did how many?
I did
Why?
64. Well, I wanted to give everyone a turn to win, just on the off chance.
See, I have 3. I have my 1 for our Jocks people, which is on a different application. It's not like the tournament challenge. And then I have my main bracket that's with like my friend challenges. And then I have one more.
Wow.
And it's named
That's a lot of brackets.
Well, it's named Winner. And
Oh, yeah.
it has Nebraska winning it all.
Is that that's your official one, or which one's your official one?
Well, my official one is not that one. That's like my I have my official bracket, and then I have my oh, this is fun.
This is very confusing what
My
you have there.
Wish and dream
Yes.
with Nebraska winning it all.
And
Very
right
good.
now, funny though, is that's my most accurate bracket.
Ah, well, I mean, look, it could happen. There are times when I'm sure nobody thought, the one who finally walked away with it was going to win.
I didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
Full disclosure.
that's happened.
I did
a couple
not
of
think we
times.
were going to win that game.
Yeah. What do you think has been, aside from that, what do you think has been the most surprising win or upset thus far in this tournament?
Ooh, I don't know about surprising. Well, the first one I was going to say was the St. John's Kansas game.
Yep.
That was an electric game. And I don't know if I would call like St. John. Yeah, the 5 seed beat the 4 seed, but it's not really an upset.
Nah.
No.
Um,
And it was very close, too.
And it was oh my gosh, it was such a good game.
Mm-hmm.
But the Iowa-Florida game, like I knew Iowa was a good team because I watch a lot of Big Ten basketball and I've watched them throughout the season. But I mean, to beat Florida, the reigning national champion, who, we saw Florida like dominate, but it's Prairie View. Like they won 114-55.
Yeah.
But to go in and beat the reigning national champion and one of the number 1 seeds, I did not have that on my bingo card.
They had to believe that they could do it.
And they did.
And they did it,
Mm-hmm.
which is very impressive. But if I had actually filled out a bracket, I didn't fill out 64. I didn't even fill out 1.
Oh.
But if I had, I probably would have put Florida at the top. That's
I think 99.9% of people that I know had Florida winning that game.
I've seen these guys play.
Yeah.
And, I've also watched Alabama play. I had them in the Final Four.
Mhm.
Against my better judgment, to be honest with you. You just kind of feel like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want them to be there. Okay, wanting them to be there
It's different.
and yeah,
Yeah, it is.
if you're going to be serious about it, especially if there's money on the line,
Mhm.
my ex-late mother-in-law, that's
Wow.
a lot of
Well,
modifiers.
again, lot going
She
on
could
there.
never pick against Auburn ever. She would
Okay.
always be like, whether it was the bracket or whether it was in football pick or whatever, she'd always have Auburn winning. I'm like, Dorothy, they're not going to win
They're
this
not gonna
weekend. They're
win.
not even going to come close. So
Yeah.
what do you do? Well, I just can't pick against them. How much of your husband's money are you throwing away? on this?
All of it.
Yeah, you should stop and think for a second. Maybe before that.
Oh,
All right.
man.
So, Alabama, Michigan, there's a chance. You're telling me there's a chance.
Well, I
There
mean,
is a
Alabama.
chance.
When you look at the stat line from the Alabama-Texas Tech game, Alabama shot 45% from beyond the arc. Oh my gosh! If they shoot 45% from 3, I mean, you're gonna win any game when you shoot that high. I think.
Auburn and the NIT. What are you thinking?
So they beat Seattle, which is good. I think next they have Nevada
Mhm.
in the 3rd round. I don't know if they've released the time for it yet.
I know nobody's going to be watching because, the NCAA
It's March
tournament's going on
25th
at
at
the same
9
time.
p.m.
Okay. Oh, well, by all means, I'll stay up till 9 to catch
Yes,
that.
late game on ESPN2.
I think I'll pass. Thank you very much. All right. We'll see you again this Friday, no doubt.
Yeah, I'll be back.
So you can give us a little
By the
bit
way,
more of a preview.
0 perfect brackets remain, according to
none.
ESPN.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Although
There was one more,
there was one
but
going
he
into
had-
the late games last night, but he had Texas Tech over Alabama.
And I think
See ya.
there were 2, and the other one had Virginia over Tennessee.
Yeah, Virginia.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Virginia had Virginia, Florida, Arizona, UConn, and Texas Tech on
Yep.
Sunday's remaining games.
Mm.
Yeah, you kind of missed on a couple.
So
of those.
close.
All right, we're going to say farewell to Molly and check in with Donald Trump, who is talking to the gaggle of reporters as he's about to get on a plane to fly to Memphis to talk about how good he's doing at stopping crime. Thank you, Molly. Appreciate you.
Okay, I don't want him to be killed.
Mr. President, you've deployed.
Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job right now. Nobody's exactly looking forward to being the head of that particular country. But perhaps we'll be able to solve that problem.
Mr. President, you've deployed ICE agents to American
Who are you
airports.
with?
Newsmax, sir. You've deployed
You're
ICE.
not doing a very good job.
You've deployed ICE agents.
You're not doing a good job. Did you hear me? Okay, go
What
ahead.
exactly do you want from
You
these
believe it? I'm
talks?
taking CNN over Newsmax. You
What
believe
exactly
it?
are you looking for in these talks, Mr. President?
We're looking for all of the things that we've been talking about. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it, low key on the missiles. We want to see peace in the Middle East. We want the nuclear dust. We're going to want that. And I think we're going to get that.
Enriched
We've
uranium?
agreed to that. Yeah, we've agreed to that.
You want the enriched uranium before you can end this.
And we want no enrichment, but we also want the enriched uranium. If this happens, It's a great start for Iran to build itself back, and it's everything that we want. And it's also great for Israel, and it's great for the other Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, all of them, Kuwait and Bahrain in particular. So it's great for all of them.
If the war is ending, do you still need $200 billion?
It's always nice to have. It's always nice to have. It's a very inflamed world, and the Democrats inflame it. You know, largely the Democrats inflame it. Let me just talk about the others. So ICE has done very well. I've requested. Now, you know, I'm a big believer that they should be able to wear masks when they go and hunt down, you know, murderers, criminals, and others. But for purposes of the airport, I've requested that they take off the mask. I don't like it for the airport, and I believe they are willing to do that.
Why do they wear masks not at the airport, but they need to do it when they're out in the country?
The people coming into the airport, typically speaking, aren't murderers, killers, drug dealers, etc. There may be a few of them, but there aren't many. They're people that want to come into the country, or that people want to leave the country, go into maybe their home country. So I didn't think it was an appropriate look for an airport. I think it's a very appropriate look when they're out on the street trying to find one of the 11,888 murderers that Sleepy Joe Biden led into our country.
Elon Musk, sir.
Last year you gave a $10,000 bonus. Sorry. Last year you gave a $10,000 bonus to TSA workers who kept showing up to work during the shutdown. Will you do that again?
Well, it could happen. It's amazing. There are people that are really, really loyal and great, and it's not easy for them. And this is all caused by the Democrats. It's just so you know, all this money was approved. Everything was approved. This is done. The Democrats went in, and they want to have radical left lunatics come into our country. They want to have drug dealers. They want to have murderers come into our country. They want to have open borders, and we're not letting it happen. That's what this is all about. They don't want voter ID. They don't want proof of citizenship. They don't want mail-in ballots. They're so corrupt. What they want, the only thing they want is mail-in ballots. So we also added, as you know, into the Save America Act. And it's called Save America. It's not the Save Act. But we added no transgender mutilization of our children and no men in women's sports.
Elon Musk, sir. If these talks go well, and you reach
I don't think he's going to be a Nixon.
if these talks go well and you reach a ceasefire agreement with Iran, do you believe Israel would abide by that agreement?
I think Israel will be very happy with what we have. We just spoke to Israel a little while ago. I think they'll be very happy. This will be peace for Israel, long-term peace, guaranteed peace. If this happens, and you know I can't guarantee it, but I think it's going to. My life is a deal. That's all I do is deals my whole life. I think this is something that's going to happen. And why wouldn't it happen? So tomorrow morning sometime, their time, we were expected to blow up their largest electric generating plants that cost over $10 billion to build. It's a very good one. There was no dearth of money. And one shot, it's gone. It collapses. Why would they want that? So they called. I didn't call. They called. They want to make a deal. And we are very willing to make a deal. It's got to be a good deal. And it's got to be no more wars, no more nuclear weapons. They're not going to have nuclear weapons anymore. They're agreeing to that. Any of that stuff, there's no deal.
Have they offered to reopen?
How are you going to, you said you want to get the enriched uranium. How are you going to get the enriched uranium? Are you going to
It's very easy. If we have a deal with them, we're going down and we'll take it ourselves.
Can I ask you, the Treasury lifted sanctions on Iranian oil that was out to sea. You criticized President Obama for giving Iran $1.7 billion.
Well, I just want to have as much oil in the system as possible.
But Iran is
and we don't even know if Iran gets that money. Frankly, I think it's very hard for them to get it. But you have ships that are out there that are loaded up with oil. Rather than keep it there, I would rather see it go to the system. Any small amount of money that Iran gets is not going to have any difference in this war. But I want to have the system be lubricated.
Even $14 billion you don't think helps them?
Where's the $14 billion?
Because the inflated price, they get $14 billion from the.
I don't think they're getting the money. I could tell you, when this is all over, I will tell you who's getting the money.
Mr. President, the Marines from California, given that it'll take them weeks to arrive, is the intention to police the strait or take cars?
What are you talking about?
Well, it's been reported that there are Marines that left California, left San Diego last week, at the end of the week. Why are they headed there now?
Well, let me ask you this. If you were in my position and I asked you that question, do you really believe I'd give you an answer? It's a crazy question.
Mr. President,
We don't talk about strategy. Yeah?
Another young woman was killed by an illegal immigrant that was let in under the Biden administration.
Let in by Biden.
Give a message for her family.
It's devastating. These people were let in by Biden. We're getting them out. We're getting them out fast. That's why ICE is so important. They're doing such a good job.
All right, we're getting back into the circular mode here where these questions all begin to sound somewhat alike as we work our way through. He's talking a little bit about what a deal might look like with Iran and how we might get there. We'll see if any of that happens or if Iran backs out at the last second, again, like they tend to do or have done in the past for some of these things. But there's President Trump about to hop on a plane to Memphis. It is 8:51. It's Dixon. It's Vining. It's Talk 99.5. Back in a flash. Good morning and happy Monday. It is Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. And we got another hour and 5 minutes to hang out here before Skippy and Jimbo.
No Skippy and Jimbo today.
Oh, that's right. We got Brian
Dawson
Brian
from
Dawson.
1819 News in
Right.
Orlando
Alrighty
will be producing the show.
Hot diggity dog.
And then they'll be back tomorrow.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that need the Skippy and Jimbo fix, you can tune in tomorrow and find them. It'll be lovely. Roger texts in and says, "Good morning. Your worst nightmare is back." My ex-wife? What do you mean? What?
That would be it.
My worst nightmare. Lee says, "The tray foil is the shape of the Girl Scout pin."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Barbara then responds with treff oil. Spells it out phonetically. TREF-OIL.
You know what? We give up. We give up. We give up.
I say it the way Barbara says it. Lee yells at me. I don't know.
That's right. Lee's not happy about it.
Thomas says, Dahlonega and Lumpkin County, white. But to go north to Union County, 99% white, less than 1% others. Wow. Richard the Cop says, TSA are trained at the airport they work at out at Fletch in Fletch, Georgia. ICE are law enforcement. TSA are security guards at best with no arrest powers. Yeah, it's true. They are two different things. But, in the reality of the situation, it's an all hands on deck here. We're trying to smooth things over and get people through these airports as quickly as possible. So TSA is doing their job, and ICE is going to be in kind of a support role for the moment, doing what needs to be done. We've got a lot of ICE agents, which is good.
And Donald Trump just mentioned, too, hey, while these ICE agents work in the airports, they probably will not be wearing masks.
No.
Yeah, I can see there's really no need for it. But when you're making arrests for illegals that you don't know what you're dealing with out on the streets, that's a different role, and that was asked. So also, I understand that TSA, that they were giving out, like, how long it takes to get through TSA, those times. They're no longer doing that. The Atlanta airport is now up to 6 hours.
Just too depressing.
6 hours to get through TSA line.
Yeah.
People were lined up at the Atlanta airport this morning at 5 a.m., and the line was all the way outside of the airport.
I saw one nice lady say, "We have a plane that leaves at 9:30. We got here at 2:30 in the morning. We thought that might be plenty of time." Yeah.
I'm so glad I have nothing booked right now.
Good Lord,
I am
no.
so thankful.
Good Lord, no. Get this thing taken care of. Come on, Democrats. Let's get it. Richard the Cop wants to know, Jeff jokes? I don't know. We haven't heard from Jeff.
No, Jeff.
Jeff has
I think
abandoned
Jeff
us.
has given up.
Jeff has abandoned us.
I think he's.
Thanks for nothing, Jeff.
I blame you, Richard.
Oh, it's my fault.
Yeah, because you made fun of his jokes.
I did.
You didn't like most of them.
He deserved them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I like most of them.
Well, you're a simple.
But he was like,
You're a very simple woman.
Richard's being mean.
Simple woman with simple needs. That's you.
That's me.
I'm a complicated man, Valerie.
I
a little more complex.
get that. I think you are.
I
hate to be you.
Read into that, sucks to be you.
Michael said, "What is the political correct term for ice cold?" You can still say ice cold, Michael. Still say ice cold if you want to. For anniversary, I'd like to dress up sports coat button down, says Tom. Thanks for that.
Right.
Good morning. Got a solution to the pollen problem. Send it to the Democrats in Washington. Have a good day, Charles in Southeast.
That would be nice if we could do that.
Just box
Make
it up.
that happen.
Box
Gather
it all
up and just dump it all on them.
There you
one
go.
shot.
Robbie says dressing all went to crap during COVID. People used to not take out the garbage in your pajamas. Now they go buy groceries in your PJs. Give me a break. It's true. I have a few rules in life I try to follow. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal are the basic ones. The rule that has gotten me into the most trouble over the years is if you show up to the job site wearing Crocs or sandals, you're fired. You can't work like a man if you're wearing your mom's shoes. Thank you, Patrick. Jeff says, if science had an answer for everything, then we wouldn't need science.
Science!
Okay. Yeah, science, bitch. Alabama has now made the Sweet 16 under Nate Oates 4 consecutive years. Only 1 year when he made the tournament did he not make it to the Sweet 16. I tell you.
Pretty good record. It really is.
I've said it before. Nate Oates has completely won me over. I had my questions about him when he got named, and now I'm probably the biggest fan that he has.
It's amazing.
And I want him to go.
Go
Let's get
all
to the
the
8.
way.
Let's go, baby.